Had you told anyone about what you meant to do?
No.
And did you meet anybody on your way, coming or going?
No. Nobody.
Sure of that, are you?
Perfectly sure.
Very well. Now listen to me. You will go straight to your room. When you get there, you will go to bed. You will say that you're not well and you've not been out since yesterday. The nurse will tell the same story. And I'll get rid of those 3 men.
Creon, you're going to a lot of trouble for no good reason. You must know that I will do it all over again tonight.
Why did you try to bury your brother?
I owe it to him.
But I had forbidden it.
I owe it to him. Those who are not buried wander eternally and find no rest. If my brother were alive and he came home weary after a long day's hunting, I should kneel down and unlace his boots. I should fetch him food and drink. I should make sure that his bed was ready for him. Polynices is home from hunt. I owe it to him to unlock the house of the dead where my father and mother are waiting to welcome him. Polynices has earned his rest.
But Polynices was a rebel and a traitor.
He was my brother.
You heard my edict. It was proclaimed throughout Thebes. You read my edict. It was posted up on the city walls.
Of course I did.
And you knew the punishment I decreed for any person who attempted to give him burial?
Yes, I knew the punishment.
So did you by any chance act on the assumption that a daughter of Oedipus's stubborn pride was above the law?
No, I did not act on that assumption.
Good. Because if you had acted on that assumption, Antigone, you would have been deeply wrong. Nobody has a more sacred obligation to obey the law than those who make the law. You are a daughter of lawmakers, Antigone, a daughter of kings. You must observe the law.
Had I been a scullery maid washing my dishes when the law was read aloud to me, I should have scrubbed the greasy water from my arms and gone out in my apron to bury my brother.
What nonsense. If you had been a scullery maid, there would have been no doubt in your mind about the seriousness of that edict. You would have known that it meant death, and you would have been satisfied to weep for your brother in your kitchen. It seemed to you a natural climax in your existence. Your father was like that. For him, as for you, human happiness was meaningless, and mere human misery was not enough to satisfy his passion for torment. You come of the people for whom the human vestment is a straitjacket. It breaks at the seams. You spend your lives wriggling to get out of it. Nothing less than a cozy tea party with death and destiny will quench your thirst. The happiest hour of your father's life came when he listened greedily to the story of how, unknown to him, he had killed his own father and dishonored the bed of his own mother. Drop by drop, word by word, he drank in that dark story which the gods had destined him first to live and then to hear. How avidly men and women drink the brew of such a tale when their names are Oedipus and Antigone. And it is so simple afterwards to do what your father did, to put out one's eyes and take one's daughter begging on the highways. But let me tell you, Antigone, those days are over for Thebes. Thebes has a right to a king without a past, and my name, thank God, is only Creon. I stand here with feet firm on the ground, my hands in my pocket, and I have decided that so long as I am king, being less ambitious than your father was, I shall merely devote myself to introducing some law and order into this absurd kingdom, if that is possible. Don't think that being a king seems to me romantic. It is my trade. A trade a man has to work at every day. And like every other trade, it isn't all beer and skittles. But since it is my trade, I take it seriously. And if tomorrow, some violent bearded messenger comes in from some violent distant valley and tells me that he is not quite sure who my parents were, but thinks that my wife, Eurydice, is actually my mother, I shall ask him to do me the kindness of going back to where he came from, and I shan't let a little matter like that persuade me to order my wife to take a blood test and the police to let me know whether or not my birth certificate was forged. Kings, my girl, have other things to do than to surrender themselves to their private feelings. Hand you over to be killed? No, Antigone. I have other plans for you. You're going to marry Haemon, and I want you to fatten up a bit so that you can give him a sturdy boy. I assure you, the Thebes needs that boy a good deal more than it needs your death. You'll do as you've been told. You'll go to your room now. You'll not speak about this to anybody. And don't fret about the guards. I'll see that their mouths are shut. And don't you annihilate me with those eyes. I know that you think I'm a brute, and you must consider me very